Hello, everybody. My name is Jerry Sarmiento. I'm the full time trader. Today is Monday, March 18. It's amazing how time is flying by. The theme for my video today was going to be you don't have to trade every day, and it is really true. You don't have to. And in another video later, I will talk about having developing different sources of income so you are not under stress or pressure to try to make money every day trading, doing day trading. But if you do, be very careful because if you're under stress, you're going to make the wrong decisions, you're going to press the wrong key, you're going to do the wrong thing, and things could really get bad and ugly for you. So don't press it. If the day doesn't present opportunities, just don't do it. And hopefully, you will have a different avenues of income so you don't have to be forced to try to make money today. Today was one of those days, and however, I, against all my clear thinking, I went into a trade. I went short Caesar, and I talked about it on the video coming up. But for some reason, talking about not pressing the wrong keys, I got in short when I should not have because of reasons I'm explaining later. And when I moved my stop, I went to move my stop to make it tighter, so to protect me from this thing turning against me. Instead of pressing the right hotkey to put a limit stop, I place I press the wrong key. I press the to cover immediately. So I pressed bid in the at the ask, and I got executed immediately. I got kicked out. I lost very little money, but I call it divine intervention because that's basically what happened. I was not supposed to press that key. I do this every day, and I did it. There's a mechanical mistake, but it saved me from losing more. And you'll see all that here. But that's why the title of this video is Divine Intervention, because that, even though it was a little thing, it happened and it got me out of my trade. Should not have been on this trade anyway, because when you trade for a long time or make many trades, you develop something called a gut feeling or intuition, and it's nothing. It's not a sixth sense or seventh sense or anything like that. It is more of just having seen things over and over and over. In your background mind, you are processing out what's happening, and you decide that this is not something that looks good because you've seen it before many times. And you can call it intuition, you can call it gut feeling, but it is basically experience. And my experience told me not to do this, and I did it anyway. And then divine intervention came in and kicked me out of the trade, and I'm very happy for it. So anyway, here goes the episode of today. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you again. Good morning. Today is beautiful Monday, March 18. I have one order to go short. It triggered. It just triggered at 8:23. That's Caesar. They announced a possible merger with El Dorado, and I was a little leery about doing this because the market is moving strongly upwards. Look at the SPY opening up, and it's been moving up ever since the opening. The Qs also they open flat, but they are climbing, and the Dow is open. It also opened flat, but it's moving up. So everything seems to be moving up. That's why I was a little leery about going short here. I only have 4 watches today. I have Lumber Liquidators, OSTK, Caesar, and Derm. Derm had a big news about phase 2 approval on an dermatology acne, I think it was, medicine trial. So the only one that I see right now interesting is Caesar on a slow downtrend. But again, I'm gonna be very careful because the market is moving up strongly. Let me see what this sector looks like. Caesar is consumer cyclical. You go to consumer cyclical, and it's resorts and casinos. Let me see where resorts and casinos are. Resorts and casinos. So that's what it's looking like. It opened down and it started moving sideways. So it may have something to do with the market being so strong right now. Let's see if it turns around and starts pulling back. That would be a good sign for my Caesar position. But so let me put a stop here before I move any further. Let's try a stop right above VWAP. So VWAP is at 832. Let me do it at 835. Let me put a hard stop at 835. Okay, stop placed. I put my line to monitor this thing. So the risk is not big, but of course you never like to lose, but it's part of the game. Okay, what did I say? 830. Where's my order? 835. Okay. By the way, my stop order didn't work. What happened? 835. I wanted at 835. Hard stop at 835. Oh, I'm doing something wrong here. Oops. Never mind. It's I'm short. I need to cover, not 835. That's why I didn't take it. Okay, cover at 835. Good. Okay. Let me do something else a minute. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I was looking at this big. There was a big block at, well, now there's a big block at 823, so that's a big support. And then the next big support is at 810. We have resistance at 824 and 825. Actually, we have a lot of resistance up here, all the way to 828. So I have nice resistance all the way in this zone here, and I have support down at I have a lot of support, but it's not as strong as the resistance, although yeah, it is strong if you add them up. And right now it's moving down at 824. My entry was at 823, so I'm a little negative right now. One thing I want to say, because I wasn't sure if I was gonna do CZR because of the market moving up, but the market is looks like it's pulling back a little bit. Well, maybe not, maybe not. I'll just keep watching. But the what I was saying was that I was going to open my morning, but saying it's okay to not trade if there are no opportunities, and I didn't see much opportunities. I only had 4 prospects, as I mentioned before, which are those 4, and nothing looked really exciting except Derm. But Derm was very volatile, so that's why it prevented me from entering. And Caesar is the only one that I saw as an opportunity, but I may pull out of that one shortly because I don't feel really comfortable with it. That's just a feeling. I mean, it's trending down clearly, so there may be no reason for me to be concerned. Let me see. Somewhere around there, the trend is trading underneath the VWAP, underneath opening price, but there's hitting some support right here, so I don't like that very much. 24 and 25 are big lines of support. I have 12,000 and 14,000 shares at 24 and 25. I have resistance of 30 at 26, so there's a battle going on here. Volume is low. There was heavy, well, relatively heavy buying volume there. Here is like almost extinguished down volume and almost extinguished down volume again. Well, 18,000 right now. So we'll see. I may move my stop closer, tighter, maybe down here. But I'm gonna give it a little bit more time to work its way through. And let me see what the 5-minute looks like. That's the 5 minutes. I see little bottoming tails here, which I don't like either. But you know what? Let me move my. Come on. I'm gonna move my stop down to. Let's see. For now, let's move it up to 8:30. So I was at 8:23, so let me move it to 8:30. Holy shit. I hit the wrong hotkey and I closed it out with a loss of 3 cents. Okay, maybe that's a divine intervention. And I'm gonna leave it like that. I don't feel comfortable with this Caesar. I was planning to move my stop down to 8:30, and instead of hitting my stop market buy to cover at 8:30, I hit my buy at the ask, so it immediately closed me. But again, I'm going to treat this as divine intervention, and I'm gonna be happy for now. Let's see what DERM is doing. DERM, I was resisting to enter before because of volatility, and it is still. Look at the. First of all, there are not many players in the first tier here, which is the yellow. There are only 2 and 3, 1 and 2, 1 and 1. I mean, I want to see like 5 or 6 or 7 on both sides, which indicates, that this thing is moving in a very volatile manner. Look at the spread, 63 to 61, 68. It's anywhere between 3 cents, and I've seen it up to 10-cent spread this morning. So tempted to get in on the long side, but I won't. It's I don't like it when the spread is that big. I like when the spread is tighter. I see a lot of gaps here in offers and bids. So see, the only big block I see is this one. Well, actually, this one, 1487, which is 1487 is not that far out, and that's a big resistance line. On the support side, I see 1463 only. So until this thing comes down, look at that, it was 63 and 70 something. Now it's 66, 67, 62, 65. It's still volatile. There are not many players, so I'm gonna leave it alone. Let's check Caesar. Well, maybe the divine intervention was what I needed. This Caesar is turning back up. There was a lot of support here, which is still there, and there is resistance up at 27 and 28. So we'll see how this thing behaves. It's approaching VWAP, so we'll see how it works. I may place an order to short again at 823 if I see this thing moving back down. But the market is strongly moving up. One of my swing trades just triggered, which I'll check out later. But let me see, on my phone I got informed. Oh, come on, can't see my phone. Where is it? I lost it. I lost my alarm. I just got an alarm from my Fidelity account, which is I have a swing trade and a swing account and an investment account. DXCM got filled, so I got filled order to buy at 152. Let me see, 152.33. So I'm long on my swing, another position, DXCM. So I'm happy with that one. This one, again, I call it divine intervention. Made me hit the wrong key and got out at a very tiny loss. I lost 3 cents here. So I'm gonna take a break right now and come back and see where the market is going, because my candidates are not going anywhere. The only one is DERM, but I'm not touching it because of the spread and the volatility. I see some more players, some more market makers coming in, but still is thin. As far as market makers is concerned, not thin about volume as far as volume is concerned, because it moved already 12 million shares since the opening, so it's been moving pretty nicely in terms of volume, but the spread is still too wide for me, for my liking. Caesar is moving up. Okay, so confirms my divine intervention, thank you God. And lumber liquidators is starting to move sideways. So OSTK, that's a hard to borrow stock, so I didn't play it on the short side. And it looks like it's turning around. It's developing bottoming tail on the daily, but I'm not gonna touch it right now. I'll be back in a few. Okay, it is 10:43 a.m. in New York, 9:43 in Houston. I think I'm gonna call it a day. My original message today was going to be, it's okay not to trade when there are no opportunities, and I did pull one trade, Caesar Entertainment, and by divine intervention right here I got out with a very small loss, and it did move up all the way to what I was intending to be my stop, which was at 8:30. So I would have been stopped out from 8:23 to 8:30. It was not a big risk anyway. I mean, it's talking about only 7 cents or so. So it was not a big risk situation, but I would place my order to go short again, but it is Monday. I have many other things to do, so I'm not going to trade. This is what the market is looking like. The SPY opened, gap up, and moved up strongly for a while, for the first half an hour, 45 minutes. Then it pulled back and started moving sideways now. Same thing with the Qs. The same thing with the Dow. Actually, the Qs and the Dow, they didn't open gap up, but they actually move strong during the first half hour of the day, and then start consolidating, pulling back and consolidating. So it looks like market is calming down. My Caesar is gone. I'm not gonna complain about it. My watch on lumber liquidators, that's something I probably would have put an entry if I had the time. I would put an entry right underneath that on a short basis, but lumber liquidator is right now restricted sell stock. So if I put a limit order, I may not get triggered on a short side. So I'm not gonna play that one. OSTK is a hard to borrow, so I can't go short on this one, even though right now, what is looking like. It is looking like that, so it actually may start moving up. If it closes above VWAP, I would say this thing is going to continue moving up. There's a lot of space to go from 1847 to 2075, which was the opening. Actually, that was the pre-market opening. The opening today was 1936. So it's a pretty almost $1 gap. It could have that distance to travel if it continues moving up. This certainly looks like it could be something. What is it going on? Oh, there we go. Something like that. So this thing maybe continue moving up, but I'm not gonna do it. Caesars, I already did my entry and exit, quick exit, and Derm, which continues to show a wide, relatively wide spread from 66 to 74. That's a big spread. It moves wider and narrower and wider and narrower, so there's only 3 or 4 market makers that are playing. I don't see many market makers on the first level here on the yellow, so that's why there's such a big gap. I did a lot of gaps here in 81, 82, 84, 87 to 88. There's a big gap here from 67 to 60, 69 to 64. Of course, this keeps moving, but when I see a lot of holes here, a lot of holes, there's not a lot of interest, even though there's a big volume. Look at that. So you cannot say there's no interest. The 17 million shares have changed hands. Of course, there has been interest. What I'm saying is, in terms of the market makers, there are only a couple of them. So it's very thin as far as market makers is concerned. That's what's giving me this big spread. So I'm not gonna touch this guy. And also it's moving sideways. So anyway, my message of today was it is okay not to trade at all if the conditions are not right, and conditions for today, Monday, are not right. The market is moving back up, which makes me happy because I have quite a few open positions on my swing trade account, and I just got triggered on one. I was supposed to get triggered on another one on MITK, but it didn't trigger. It was probably, I'll check why it didn't trigger, but I had my order on the MTK. Is it the MITK? And it did not trigger. I triggered only one of them. So I'm gonna go get busy on other things and go to the gym, and I'll come back later to check my swings. But for day trading, this is it for me today. I'm gonna close down the day with a 3-cent loss, which I'm not gonna cry about it. I'm very happy that it happened. It was a stupid mistake of hitting the wrong hotkey. Sometimes it happens, you know. You trade every day, you trade often, and you know your hotkeys. You need hotkeys to trade in this market, but sometimes I press the wrong one. I did press the wrong key and kicked me out, but kicked me out with a very small loss. It would have been much larger if I did not move because my original stop was up here somewhere, and then I moved it down on doubts that the market was moving up and I shouldn't be short. But okay, you know the whole story. I'm not gonna repeat it again. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you this week sometime with another review of another trade. Thanks. Bye now.